Welcome to episode 26 of the Sweet Natured Cruisecast. Hi, I'm Linz. As always, I'm joined by Marky.
Hello.
Hello, and today we're talking size. And have cruise ships got too big? But first, and I can't wait for this, a little mood music.
What did you think to this week's mood music?
I could hear lyrics.
You could hear lyrics.
I think
you,
ship.
You were filling in. You were creating your own words for the.
I could
for the
hear
topic.
it. It was like, it suits it, and I really don't know why.
I'll take that. I'm happy that you could create your own lyrics. If you're watching or listening to this and would like to send your lyrics in the comments, please do, about size, because today we're talking about whether size matters, which is what I think you were getting at when you were being cheeky with that intro.
I'm never cheeky. I don't know what you're talking about.
But we are talking specifically about whether ships are getting too big, and the pros and cons to that. We've also got the return of a cruise confession.
Ooh.
I did find one that was
suitable,
that wasn't going to get us banned from everything.
Okay.
And we've got our usual cruise stories.
Yeah, our news.
Our cruise news stories.
That you like to tell me.
I do. And you can react and let me know what you think.
And have a drink.
Well, you've been looking at that G&T for the last few seconds, and I'm amazed you didn't pick it up just before we started.
What a day. And then this.
But is this the good bit of the day now? Because it's just been a full-on work day for you. We won't use this as a therapy session because it's maybe not that exciting for people watching.
No, so there's not a lot you can do about it. So it's like...
And that includes me.
Yeah.
It's just one of them days at work. Mm-hmm. But let's get into the topic then.
Mm-hmm.
Cruise ships and size. So one of the sort of early cruise ships that we went on at the time was... one of the biggest in the world, which was at the time, which was Oasis of the Seas. Still is Oasis of the Seas.
That wasn't the first one we went on.
No, I'm saying was one of the first ones. The first one that we went on, Navigator of the Seas, just before we went on it, was the biggest ship in the world. But now seems tiny by comparison.
Yes, it was a big one. Yes,
but nowadays,
that's quite
seems sort of quite
mid-size,
small.
I think.
Yeah, absolutely. But Oasis, when we first went on that was our sort of first experience of being on a ship with sort of 5,000 passengers.
But it was everybody's first experience of being on a ship with 5,000 passengers.
It was. At the time, and I still stick by this for Oasis because it remains one of my favourite class of ships. I think it's sort of that perfect big ship because of its design, how the passenger flow works well. And I think a lot of people think when it comes to big ships, and this is certainly a pro to big ship cruising as opposed to a con to it, that they handle the passenger flow really well. Mm-hmm. We've been on ships that have 2,500, 3,000 passengers that feel much busier. Would you agree?
I know what you're saying, and I guess. I know what you're saying. There's those neighbourhoods, isn't there?
When you talk about Royal Caribbean.
Yeah, and we never felt that we were on a ship with all those people.
No, because people are so well separated. There's so many things going on at the same time.
The theatre's always, but that's regardless. It's always the perspective, isn't it? It always seems busy at certain crunch points.
No matter what size ship you're on, whether you're on one at 700, 800, 900, if it's main dining room time and everyone's heading there at 6 o'clock or 8 o'clock, it's going to seem busier because that's going to be one of the times where you see lots of passengers. If there's a big show on or a special guest, you'll get more people going to see that than you would just an everyday sort of production. So you see more people at that point. On the bigger ships, certainly from our experience today, and we've not been on the Icon class yet, which is the world's biggest ship, Royal Caribbeans, but the ones sort of just below that, Wonder of the Seas, Harmony type, they still seem to handle that size really well. But I get why the thought of being on with that many passengers puts people off.
Yeah, I can too.
What do you think of the other sort of pros to it before we get into sort of the cons?
I'm going to say a pro of it feels like you actually, and I know this is going to sound weird, you're not necessarily on a cruise ship, you're more in a very snazzy city.
Yeah, it feels more like a resort.
It does feel very much like a resort. There's not the quirky up to go, down to go, backwards to go forwards design.
No,
like a Cunard ship.
Yeah, the passenger sort of flow that they have through them is designed to sort of get people from A to B as quickly as possible, passing as many touch points as they can.
Looking at Royal Caribbean, there's always the area that, where the the plaza. What's it called?
The Royal Promenade.
The Royal Promenade.
Well, at this point, we haven't actually been on Royal Caribbean for about 7 years. We are on this September.
Yeah. And I got my holidays cleared for that as well.
Oh, fantastic. Anyone who's coming on the group clues will be glad that you're actually coming with us. I'm glad that you're coming with us.
Yeah.
But yeah, that sort of promenade bit, for me, one of the things that I really do love about sort of larger ship cruising is the amount of choice on there. And by that, I mean the amount of bars that you've got, the amount of restaurant specialty dining, as well as inclusive dining, the amount of entertainment. Because certainly when you're on those bigger ships, it covers everything from trivia that you see on every ship type through to ice skating. You've done... what's it called? The parachuting? I can't remember what it's called.
Oh, the iFly.
iFly,
that was on a Anthem.
Was that on Anthem you did that?
Not Oasis.
You've got things like the waterboarding. It's not
waterboarding?
Yeah, that's a very specialist one. It's not called waterboarding, is it? What's it called? It's not surfboarding. Wakeboarding?
I'm sorry, I'm torturing people in my mind.
There's definitely no torturing going on.
It would be for some people, though, that size ship.
Well, it probably would be.
I think it would. I can think of some of our friends, cruise friends, that just would feel a little bit much for them.
Oh, I know a lot of people who would absolutely not go on a ship of that size. And I think that in the head, they think it's just going to be packed all the time, which we've already touched on that.
Yeah.
And that they're going to be queuing for everything.
On the mega ships.
Yeah.
Yes, that is, and I mean,
But is that a reality? Do you queue that much on them?
We haven't done it for a while, though. That's the thing. And also, when we did it, we were in a suite.
Well, this is true.
So
the last time we went on, we were in a suite. But I don't remember any of the times
but
that
we can't. I'm not sure we can.
Well, maybe we come back to this topic a little bit more, or touch on it after we've done sort of Royal Caribbean in September, because that's on Independence of the Seas, which again at one point was the world's biggest ship.
Yeah.
So by comparison, now it doesn't seem as big, but it's still huge compared to things like sort of Queen Mary 2 or
what we have done is Princess's biggest ship as a
Sun Princess.
Yeah, and we also did one of Princess's little ships.
We did
in a very short space of time.
Yeah. I found that we queued more on the smaller ship when we went on Ruby than we did when we went on Sun.
Yes, but again, I was saying that, though, we were in a suite on Ruby.
We weren't in a suite on Sun.
No, we weren't in a suite on Sun.
We didn't have any special privileges in there.
Special privileges?
No, I meant like the suite pass or yacht club or things like that. We just had... We
had speciality dinners and things.
If you remember when we got on Ruby, I had to queue up to get your 24 carat margarita, and I was queuing up at the bar for about 20 minutes.
Oh yeah, when we first got on.
Yeah, we didn't ever.
Yes, but it was still quicker than the 2 hours it took when we got on Sun Princess.
Yeah, but that wasn't anything down to the ship. That was filming.
No, that was down to you.
That was down to me.
That was down to you.
That is not down to the ship. We can't blame.
That was down to you.
For that at all.
Denying me my 24 karat gold margarita for 2 hours. 2 hours.
Was it 2 hours?
It was 2.
Or did it just feel like 2 hours?
I was going to really swear then.
I'm glad there's no video evidence that shows how long it was.
No.
So, all right, we've talked about sort of a lot of the pros there. What do you think are the negatives to it other than perception of it being busy?
Getting into ports.
Great one. This is like you sort of know a bit about cruising.
I know a little bit.
No, it's a really valid point because increasingly, globally, a lot of the cruise ports are reducing down the size of the ships or the number of passengers that can go in on any one day.
Yeah.
And also some ports are not deep enough. We touched on in the news story I think it was the previous episode, where Belfast was having an extension to its harbour to make it deeper because the big ones can't get in there. Why are you starting to laugh there?
Oh, I try to be good. I don't think it's in my nature.
Why, what were you going to say?
Nothing.
Were you just being cheeky in your head?
No. I think I've got a problem. I really think I've got a problem.
Do you want to confess to this problem?
Now?
What's the problem?
What is the problem? I don't.
Shall we move on?
I'm going to get cancelled.
We can't cancel you. I think it not being, going back to your point of it not being able to get in the ports is a really valid one, especially if you go into places like the fjords.
And also, if you do get into port, they're not necessarily the prettiest either, because you're basically with the big container ships.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, fair point. I think one other bit where when you're on a big ship where you do notice the numbers, because we've said when you're on the ship you don't really notice them because they do it very well. But when you get 5,000 to 7,000 people getting off at one of the private islands off of one of the ships, and then another of the ships pulls in with another 3,000 or 4,000 on, all of a sudden you do see what 10 or 11,000 passengers descending on a beach looks like.
Is another one for that. We like to play a game in Nassau. Which ship did that person get off?
Trying to guess. Sometimes it's obvious. If there's a Disney ship in and they get off with ears on, that does give it away. Other times it's a little bit harder. But in Nassau, we've been in there when there's been sort of 4 or 5 really big ships in there. And when you get into the town, it's absolutely
when you get
chaotic.
through where the new part is, and it's and you walk onto Senor Frogs. Everybody knows where Senor Frogs is in Nassau. You don't even have to have been. You can probably picture. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's chaos, isn't it? That's the downside to sort of those resorts like that where they welcome lots of big ships simultaneously. Because they have got the capacity to do it, but it does seem very crowded. And I say, if you look at going to Perfect Day on Royal Caribbean, you could end up with Icon in there, and later this year, Star of the Seas at the same time. I guarantee that'll happen at the same time.
They know what they're doing, though, because if you know you're going on that day, and whichever private island it is, whichever cruise line it is, if you know that you're on the big ship and they're getting another big ship in there on that day, that in order to get that beach resort experience...
I know where you're going with this. Yeah. You're going to pay for one of the better areas.
You're going to have to pay for one of the VIP quiet areas.
And that's where Royal Caribbean has its sort of very controversial dynamic pricing. On the island, depending on sort of demand. And when there's sort of somewhere between 10 and 14,000 people going to be on there when Star comes out as well, then you can imagine that those prices are very expensive, because already on some days incredibly expensive for like
it's like another price of a cruise.
And then some. We've seen it at $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 for a cabana. If we'd never pay that, but
who's in the cabana?
We'll go back to your theme cruise bit. Well, that's where you get invited into one with Lex Luthor and Superman. But I think that is a big downside to.
I didn't tell you I got an invite.
Did you get an invite through?
Yes, but not for that.
Ah. Who did you get the invite from?
Cannot say.
Ooh, fancy. I didn't say it, so obviously I'm not going. What other negatives have we got?
Another negative, apart from the shopping mall experience, because when they wheel out the little tack trolleys.
I mean, to be fair, most of the cruise lines do that on cruise lines of all cruise ships of all sizes.
Really, I call them the tack trolleys. I'm there at the front as well. See
what the cheap handbag is and what the cheap tops are.
Yeah, and
I mean, occasionally they do have some good offers on it.
But then it feels again. It doesn't feel resorty. It feels quite shopping mall-y.
It is, and I think when you get those events on,
and the thing by the inch.
Gold by the inch. Are you on a size matters again?
No, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, they sell the little gold chains.
Yeah, I feel that always sort of.
Well, I was thinking not specifically the sales bits, because you see it get busier there when they put those on, but you see that on cruise ships of all sizes. So I don't think that's a specific problem to the larger ones. I don't think you get any more people turning at them. I think they just end up being busy from the cruisers that like to go to them. So
people love to buy things on the cruise as a memento. I get that. It's like a little take-home memory. I get that. It just can sometimes... it can sometimes feel as though it's a bit... It takes you out of that relaxation holiday cruise zone.
It does. I was thinking about sort of where you get those sort of promenade-type parties on. So they do them on Royal Caribbean. They do them on MSC, for instance.
Yes, they do.
The carnival night that they do on when we went on MSC Virtuosa, there's footage of that in our Virtuosa review. That is probably the busiest that I've ever seen a part of land that's not coming out or into a football match. It would just absolutely chocker sort of side to side. People couldn't move.
No.
But people were loving it.
No, it did feel a bit Wembley way. I know what you're saying.
Yeah. That's what I was meaning in sort of that way. Yeah. But I get why people wouldn't want that experience. You know, on Virtuoso we talked about there, that's not one of the really big ships, but it's still a big ship.
No, but I like Virtuoso the way that we did it.
In yacht clubbing, that you can get back out of there.
Yeah, and I think that's the secret. If you can have a little private enclave for you that feels very luxurious and
to be fair, that can just be your cabin.
It can be just your cabin, but as long as you've got somewhere to escape or a little sun lounger that only you know about, then yeah.
Well, that's one of the things that I do like about the big ships, that there are so many places where you can go where nobody else is going to be there, or there might be one or two.
Yeah, but I worry because I've never got the shade then.
No, they can be inside. So if you think about when we went on Apex, there's those areas upstairs on Eden during the day.
Oh, yes,
that loop round. It's all inside, so you don't have to worry about getting sunburn.
It's beautiful.
Practically nobody goes there. You can go there, listen some music, read a book.
I'd swing about,
play cards.
Have a little swing.
Yeah, there's a swing up there. There are so many places on the bigger ships where you can go find sort of moments of solitude.
Moments of solitude?
Yeah,
Are you a Superman?
I am, yeah. I'm hoping to get an invite to this cabana.
I'm not going to cabana.
You can tell me afterwards. But I think you find them easier to find on the bigger ships than you do on the smaller ships. The smaller ships tend not to have as many areas where they can go to.
I understand.
Anything else that you can think of for sort of the negative side to it?
So we talked about too busy. We talked about not being able to get into the
I don't think price is really a thing. Apart from
the price.
No, 'cause I know Icon of the Seas has been very expensive in its first year.
Yes.
But it doesn't always mean that a bigger ship is more expensive. If you look at something like Oasis or Allure from Royal Caribbean,
they are coming down.
Those are quite reasonably priced.
Reasonably priced.
That's why I said quite.
I guess there's a lot of amenities and facilities for you.
And there's often more likely to be last minute offers available on the bigger ships. Again, not the brand new ships, not Icon of the Seas type, but on the bigger ships because they've got that much spare capacity.
Yeah, but sometimes in the flights, again, I was going to swear, but the flights get you if you...
Yeah, but you might be lucky enough to live close to somewhere where you don't have to fly.
And that's the thing. Southampton we get big ships, we don't get super mega ships.
No.
Because I think the super mega ships are also very geared to something that we've not seen for a while called the sun and warmth. How we are now talking and it's like -2 outside or something.
I definitely think the ultra mega ships, so your Icon of the Seas and that size ship.
Big ships.
Other big ships are available. But I'm thinking about this one visually in my head at the moment. Such a huge amount of real estate on the top of that ship is for hot climates on it.
A lot of the big ones are.
So that's why you see them, the really big ones, just pretty much live in sort of the Caribbean or the Mediterranean in summer.
Because they've got that lovely solarium for Royal Caribbean. I know we're doing a lot of Royal Caribbean at the minute, but even the celebrity ships. I mean, we've got Apex now that's coming out of the UK, and that's got a lot of open deck area.
It has, but the big ships also have a lot of inside area as well.
They do, but they're very geared to the sunshine.
They're geared to it, but I feel we've got a slightly different opinion on that. They're not going in there. But I feel that you've got, in sort of poorer weather, you've got more options to do.
You do, that's true.
Than you do on a smaller ship where it won't have all the slides and things necessarily on top and sort of the air flying stuff and things like that on rock walls. But it has a lot inside, whereas the smaller ones don't really have that capacity. You can tell whenever we've been on a smaller ship, and by small, I'm saying anything that's 2,000 passengers and below.
I guess.
On it. So it's still relatively big.
Yeah.
But anything of that size, when the weather's bad, inside it's a nightmare to try and find a seat in a bar or get a coffee. Everywhere's just rammed because they haven't got that spare capacity.
No.
In the bigger ships, there's still so much spare space inside.
Yes.
That, you will tell it's a lot busier, but you'll still better go get a seat in a bar.
Yeah.
You'll still better go get a coffee without having to wait an hour.
I was just thinking, there was a time we were in the Med on Harmony of the Seas, and that got a little bit choppy and a bit rainy. Only once, but again, we didn't feel that we were, that it was that busy. The thing that I remember most of all from that cruise is when we were sat what the bit at the back called where the divers are and everything.
The Aquatheatre.
Aquatheatre. It was daytime. We were just chilling with a drink. And do you remember that there was that private Learjet that flew over us, went straight past us, and then the military jets followed it.
Yeah.
And everybody went, what the?
Yeah.
It was crazy.
Film it and taking pictures.
Yes. Never seen them. Like a mid-air.
It was very low as well, wasn't it?
Oh, and that's the thing about the big ships. People are like, oh, I'll come and I'll fly my Learjet right at the side of this. And then, of course, we got buzzed by the military jets. And that was very exciting. But, that's... You see, not regular size ships don't really attract that kind of...
of attention.
Yeah. So, what are we saying? Do we like big?
I do, but... I think that I don't have a problem with size. I don't think size necessarily matters when it comes to cruise ships. You can have a fantastic cruise whether you're on a ship that holds 300 people or a ship that holds 7,000.
Are we saying it's the company?
It is definitely
regardless
the
of the size, it's who are you with and what you do.
It is absolutely that. That's the takeout from this.
Oh, that's nice.
Thank you. Do you want a cruise confession?
Let me have a drink first.
Okay, I'll have a drink as well because I have to read it out.
Because I think I need it for these.
If you have got a cruise confession, please do send them in to us because we are starting to run low on them now.
If
we have them,
they
we'll
weren't
use
appropriate.
Them. No.
But just send me any kind of confession. I'll take it.
Yeah, you're quite happy to listen to just read them normally, aren't you? Even if we don't necessarily read them online.
Just holiday confessions, packing confessions.
Let us know some. So, cruise confession. So this one is from Sam. Oh. That is the real name.
Oh, don't tell me that.
Well, you don't know him.
S. It's from S.
It's not from S. It's from Sam. Okay. They said I could use the name.
Okay.
Dear Mark and Lindsay.
Okay.
My confession involves a drinks package,
Ooh.
a regrettable lack of self-control, and a sincere apology to a certain gentleman in a rather fetching Hawaiian shirt. You see, I purchased the ultimate beverage package.
Love you, Sam.
My passport to only made cocktails, mocktails, in brackets, not so many of them, and everything in between.
I'm just trying to think when I had a mocktail.
We will have had them.
I'm not sure I've had. I'm not sure that's one thing I've ever done on a cruise.
We need to try one. I think you could have a mocktail in the morning.
No, I don't even think I've had a mocktail in the morning.
Anyway, back to Sam.
Okay.
I was determined to wring every last drop of value from that package, and ring I did. You would have been proud.
Okay.
I became a whirlwind of bottomless bliss. Bloody Marys and mimosas for breakfast. Is this you who's actually wrote this in and said it is Sam? Yeah. Frozen margaritas at lunch. It's sounding more like you. Why not? Mojitos by the pool. Don't mind if I do.
What's that? Why not or why no?
No, why not? A round of tequila shots with my new karaoke friends? Absolutely. My liver...
Is this me?
It could well be you, this. Absolutely. My liver may never forgive me, but hey, at least I was living my best slightly blurry life.
I'm just trying to think, am I like, do I have a split personality?
That you've sent us this confession in late one night when you don't remember. I don't think it was you. It definitely wasn't your email. Or not an email.
It's Sam's email.
It's Sam's email. Yeah. Alternate Lindsay. However, my enthusiastic embrace of the ultimate beverage experience had some unintended consequences.
Oh, no.
Specifically during the tropical themed party.
Oh.
Fueled by an excessive number of blue Hawaiians.
Oh, that blue curacao was a killer.
Yeah, you don't realise how strong they are until you're like 5 or 6 in and then realise that your legs don't work properly anymore.
And everything that comes out is blue.
For days. And your tongue. I attempted to demonstrate my non-existent hula dancing skills. This involved a lot of enthusiastic hip shaking, questionable hand gestures, and a complete disregard for personal space.
It is me.
Unfortunately, my impromptu hula performance collided with a rather unfortunate gentleman in a rather fetching Hawaiian shirt. Ooh. He ended up drenched in his blue cocktail. His pristine shirt now a casualty of my overzealous enthusiasm. I vaguely remember offering him a napkin and a slurred apology, but I suspect it wasn't my finest moment. So to the gentleman in the Hawaiian shirt, if you're listening to this, I offer my sincerest apologies. I was, shall we say, overly enthusiastic in my celebration of all things tropical. I hope the stain came out of his shirt, and I promise to stick to mocktails from now on. Okay, that's not true, but I will try and get better at hula dancing. Hoping for forgiveness, Sam.
So basically, Sam, you smurfed somebody.
Is that what it's called?
I think it is.
I think smurfing might be another one of these things that might be something different. No. If you can safely search, not at work, for smurfing. Smurfing sounds like it would be different to throwing someone a blue cocktail.
You smurfed them by turning them blue.
I'm fairly sure that it's going to mean something else.
Is this an Urban Dictionary thing again?
It sounds like it would be.
Oh, this gets me into so much trouble.
So we'll see what comes from that. So are you...
I'm totally forgiving them because I think it's me.
There's half a chance that it's your alternate personality that you don't know about.
If I was... I mean, it does sound like me. All the drinks.
Yeah.
They're thinking they can hula hoop.
Not hula hoop, hula dance.
Do you not hula hoop in the hula dance?
No, like Hawaiian hula dancing.
With the coconuts?
I don't know if there were coconuts. Sam didn't specify. But it's like hula dancing.
Oh, with a grass skirt?
Yeah. I don't think there was no suggestion of a ring being involved.
You hadn't checked out smurfing yet.
No, this is true. Anyway, are we forgiving Sam?
Oh, goodness, yes,
Yeah,
Sam. You are totally
absolutely.
forgiven because it's me.
It sounds like a genuine accident, and you sound like you had a fantastic
I bet they
time.
liked it, really.
I bet they did. And they'll have told that story as well.
Yeah, they've been dining out on that for years.
I was smurfed on a cruise ship. Right, cruise story number 1. What was that noise for?
I feel, Sam, I feel with
Are you going back to Sam here? Is Sam feeling like a soulmate here?
Sam is feeling like a soulmate. Sam, I forgive you. I forgive you. I trust you.
I'm not going there with my shirts on.
Thank you. Thank you. Blue drinks are blue. That are very...
Yeah.
Blue drinks are killer.
I'm not a massive... I can't remember having a blue drink and going, I'm a massive fan of that.
Oh, I would...
I've had lots of them.
There's one where you mix it with Disaronno.
That sounds like I'd like that one.
It's a killer.
I need to look at... What is it? Disaronno...
and blue curacao. Curacao. I don't know what it's called.
We have those things in.
Oh, it's an absolute killer.
We'll have to try one on our next cruise.
Okay.
Blue cocktail.
We're going to do a blue one.
We will.
We'll do a blue one, and then I'm going to pour it off you.
Right. So we get on to the cruise news stories.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I'm back in the room.
Back in the room. More information's come out this week on a company called Clyde-Bill's cruise ship. You mentioned this to me the other day.
Oh, is this the Dark Island?
Dark Island, which very strange name for a cruise ship. I don't think
I want to go on Dark Island.
Well, just hold your horses there while I tell you some things about it.
Okay.
So, for those of you that have not heard of Dark Island, still a weird name for a cruise ship.
It sounds like I named it.
It does.
When I was in a dark mood.
It is an ultra high-end residential ship. So this is not like Villa V or The World. This is very high-end. It was scheduled to have its maiden originally at the end of this year.
Okay.
When it was first announced. Mm-hmm. But it's now going to have it in 2028. So obviously a lot of time's passed since the concept was first announced. And its first one will be an 800-night world cruise.
800 nights?
So that's what it's starting off with. Then on the second cruise, the passengers / residents get to vote on the itinerary. Ultimately, it's the captain who has final say.
Okay.
But it means that they have a lot more choice in where they go on these.
Can they also vote off passengers that they're not happy with?
I don't know if they can do that.
Because I don't know if I could do 800 nights.
That's a lot of nights. Each suite has its own butler. And they range in size from 430 square feet, which is roughly about double the size of an average balcony cabin on a normal cruise ship, up to 2,500 square foot.
That's bigger than our flat.
It is way bigger. It includes all the meals, beverages with the meals, including premium drinks and wines, Wi-Fi, and even spa treatments. So I'm going to test you now.
For 800 nights.
Yeah. How much do you think the prices are starting at?
Oh, my goodness.
So bear in mind, this is to buy...
To live on it for 800 nights?
No, you live on it for more than that. I haven't seen the full details. I can't tell you how much it is. It's not just that one cruise. You're buying a space on there. They reckon that the ship will last 50 years. So from reading what I read, it sounds to me that you get this for 50 years.
And all the food and all the drinks.
And let me know in the comments if I'm wrong, but that's what it appeared to say. There is an ongoing, like a homeowner's bill each year.
Do you have to pay like a HOA or whatever?
Yeah, there's a bill each year, but they haven't said how much it is, but they've said it's reasonable.
Okay.
But again,
I bet that's
reasonable's a relative term for this.
When you're paying this sort of money.
Yeah. So I'll put it into a little bit of context if I remember right. The VAV one, that one started for the cabins, I think, at $74,000.
Okay.
And you got that for 3 years.
Okay. So, okay, I've got it.
Okay, so where are you going?
$1 million.
That's what you think? That's what its starting price is?
Yes.
And what's it going up to?
$20 million.
20 million for a cabin. If only
For
it was
50
if
years.
only it was that cheap. The starting price starts at $8 million
Wow.
and goes up to $110 million.
I don't think that's for me. I don't think that's for
definitely
me.
know it's not for me.
I mean, no, even if I won the Euro Millions.
On a big jackpot, on a mega jackpot.
On a mega jackpot.
But that would be all of your food and accommodation set for the rest of your life. And you can bequeath it to people.
I'm bequeathing it because of all the blue drinks.
Yeah, absolutely. Because the other passenger voted you off. But you can also rent it out for 6 months at a time as well. So you could recoup some money on that.
I'm not sure that's me, even if we had the money.
No, it's very expensive.
I'm not sure.
I will be fascinated to have a look at it. I'll be looking forward to the YouTube videos when people are touring it and showing it off.
I've got the pearls and the diamonds, darling, but...
You've got the look for it.
I've got the
bank account, no.
The look for it.
You have. Maybe not now. For those that are listening, Lindsay just rearranged her hair.
Because it's always so...
Work, end of day hair.
No, it's always pristine, my hair.
It is.
Always.
When you're listening to it, it's always immaculate.
It's not like I've got out of bed, ever.
Cruise Story 2.
Oh, is that only number one?
That's number one, yeah. We've got two more,
Wow.
Virgin Voyages.
Love Virgin Voyages.
We do. They've said that they're introducing some new menus, some shows, and stuff across the fleet starting pretty much now.
Oh, lovely.
So some of the culinary updates.
Oh, nice.
Included on Extra Virgin, for instance.
Yes.
Which is their Italian.
Yeah.
Include dishes such as seafood risotto.
Lovely.
And roasted monkfish.
Oh, we'll have to go some to have the risotto match celebrity.
Yeah.
Eden.
Gumbe, the Korean barbecue.
Been there.
Is going to completely refresh its menu to add things like bulgogi fire meat. Don't know what that is. Kimbap rolls. And bo sam, which is whole roasted pork butt with oysters and caviar.
Wow, that sounds fabulous.
That's going to be introduced in July.
Okay.
So there's obviously a lot more than that as well. For entertainment, Scarlet Lady's kicking things off a little bit, where it's transforming its theatre into a hub for musical celebration, spanning multiple areas in 2 new shows.
Lovely.
First one is going to be called the Y2K New Year.
Oh, is that when everything dies?
Yeah. And the second one is a concert. I think it's called It's a Rock Shoki, where guests sing along with a live band.
Okay. That sounds fun.
They're also introducing on Scarlet, and again, I expect these will roll out across the fleet if they're successful, because we've seen it go the other way.
Yeah.
Adding a new supper club called LOLZ, LOLZ. What do you think LOLZ is?
Laugh out loud.
Yeah, it's a comedy club.
Okay.
It's a free dinner show, so it's not like Another Rose.
No, okay.
Where they have comedians in the Manor nightclub paired with a 3-course meal.
That sounds fun, yeah.
And then Brilliant Lady, when she comes on in September, is debuting shows that draw on the musical heritage of Virgin Records, Richard Branson's record.
Oh, amazing. That sounds fun.
So celebrating 5 decades of that. So we're going to see everything from the Sex Pistols on. So that should be fantastic.
Wonderful.
What's your thoughts on that?
Yes.
It's nice to see them constantly evolving it, because when they've got those restaurants, we've said it before, that once you've done it 3 or 4 different times and the menu's not changed,
an advocate for them.
You want to see them changing it, and not just like the menu in the test kitchen, but constantly refreshing it. And they obviously listen to that and are doing it. Cruise Story number 3, the last one.
Okay, the last one.
You might like this one.
I might.
You might. Holland America has partnered up with the History Channel.
I like it already.
They've just revealed a 3-year partnership with them.
Wow.
Where the History Channel is going to help curate itineraries and shore excursions that focus on historical elements.
I love that.
I thought, brilliant idea.
Yeah.
So they haven't announced that many itineraries yet, but what they've said is some sample voyages that they're already working with the History Channel on, including a 14-day Arctic journey and Northern Lights.
Lovely.
And a 7-day Mediterranean Marvels of Pompeii, and Norwegian fjords. And then the Arctic Journey one, for instance, I think that is October next year, October 26.
Yeah.
And it'll visit several ports, some of which we've been to, like Alesund.
Been there.
We haven't been to Tromsø or Trondheim.
I'd love to go to Tromsø, though.
But then it's going to cross the Arctic Circle and then go to the Shetland Islands.
Shetland Islands, and look at the Neolithic sites there.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's going to do things like the Trondheim Heritage Trail, traditions of Norway in Bergen, a walk with huskies.
With the historical huskies?
Historical huskies. And then when it goes to Stavanger, been there?
Been there.
Looking at the city that dates back to the Middle Ages and going through. So I think that's such a great partnership.
Yes.
You know, we've talked recently about things like, I think, was it Princess that partnered with the country music one? It might not have been Princess, I remember talking about it. But there seems to be increasingly more of these partnerships going on.
Yeah.
And
no, I love that.
I think that's just a really good one to how much the excursions will be.
Oh, it'll be so much.
We will wait and see. Hopefully, so much. I can't remember which ship it is. It might be Celebrity who do the Discovery ones. They partner up with the Discovery Channel.
I think it is Celebrity.
And they are at a premium.
They are.
And their excursions were already expensive anyway. So it'll be really interesting to see when they come out. But as I say, that's starting next year.
Yeah.
And that brings us up to the end of the episode.
Well, cheers, darling.
Cheers, Linz.
Thank you for listening. Be careful what you're searching.
Smurf.
And have a lovely day.
I'll play us out with a little moon music.
Oh, yes. I like it.